World League Wrestling in memory of Harley Race.
It is over before it started.
And new World League Wrestling Tag Team Champions. World League Wrestling. This is where sports entertainment stops. This is where pro wrestling will always live.
Good morning.
How's it going?
No, it's
man?
not morning. I'm just teasing.
I mean, I did take a nap.
Right. Well, good afternoon and welcome to this episode of Amplify. I'm CT Harrison. He is Martin Kattich, senior referee at World League Wrestling.
For now, man.
And
I
for
mean,
now.
They looked good last night.
Huh?
They looked good in there
They
last
did.
night reffing.
They did. And today, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. Is today we're going to talk about WLW Uprising, the event that just happened last night at the Harley Race Wrestling Arena. But here's something that's very special about it is Uprising actually made WLW history for a couple of reasons, and the main one being this: not only did the heavyweight championship change hands last night, but for two reasons. One, it changed hands, and Moses the Deliverer became the very first, or he became the youngest World
right.
League Wrestling champion
Ever.
in history. But also, it was the first time in World League Wrestling's history that World League Wrestling was actually streamed live. It was our first internet pay-per-view.
Right, and we got the pleasure, I guess you'd say, of being the inaugural color commentators for the
It
show.
was. And how fun was that?
I had a blast.
That was probably... it was nerve-wracking, and it was like my because I don't want to let anybody down over there, and I certainly don't want to let Harley down. But I had probably some of the most fun I've had at a show doing that.
I mean, for me too. I mean, but I didn't have to go through all of that. Go to everybody I'm reffing
Right.
and make sure they know, hey, don't be doing. I mean, not that they listen to me backstage anyway.
Right.
They only listen to me between the bells. So
That is true.
But yeah, I didn't have to go through that whole litany of, telling everybody the rules and making sure they remembered, even though they know damn well what the rules are.
Right. Yeah. So we kick off the show. Uprising kicks off with the Heartthrob Jaden taking on Kyle Roberts.
Jaden's got a whole new lease on life, it seems.
He does seem to.
He put that paint on. I don't know how many people know the history. But he put that paint on. And since he's put that paint on, he has become a very determined, violent young man.
Well, I've just seen, I don't know if I would call it violence, like for me.
Aggressive.
Personally. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I would say.
Aggressive, yeah.
It's an aggression, but to me, he's channeling that inner warrior.
Yeah,
he's
definitely got some animal in his
that
movements
inner
now.
animal. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
so, and for good reason.
I didn't expect it to go quite the way it went, but Kyle, here's another guy who's over the last couple of months kind of created his own new lease on life in wrestling. He seems to, he's not the happy-go-lucky kicking Kyle Roberts.
No.
Running around telling dad jokes that he used to be backstage. He's a very serious. He's off to himself a lot more. He's insulated within himself now, and it's a whole new Kyle Roberts, and with all of the aggression, all of the the new paint, everything else that Jaden's been kind of seems to be drawing off of, and Kyle comes out with the win here, kind of in a shocker if you want my opinion, because the heartthrob's been rolling. I mean, even in that match where in the end it was a losing effort, he dished out way more than he took, and you can't say enough about the will of Kyle Roberts to survive the onslaught that he got put through at the start of this match, and to come back and actually just grab a victory off of the heartthrob Jaden Roller.
Just take a moment here for just a second.
Hey.
Stephen Lucas, thanks for joining us. Sarge, of course, is with us from Uncensored Wrestling Talk. Michael Lilly, good to see you. Yes, this is interactive, buddy. Good to see you. Yes, the host will respond to your comments, Steve. Yep. Good afternoon.
At least to the best of our abilities.
And yes, Michael, I'm going to post that real quick because that's a great comment that I absolutely 100% agree with. Michael says, the female ref did an awesome job. Her name is Elaney Harley, Michael, and keep an eye on her because she is a trainee at the Wrestling Academy, and one day you're going to see her. I have faith in that. I'm going to maintain faith in that. But for now, she is filling a role that we needed filled as a referee, and because of, we said this earlier on Uncensored Wrestling Talk, because of her training through the academy and what's instilled in our trainees, she was able to fill that role great. Yeah. Absolutely great. She's fantastic.
Well, I mean, for everything I've looked, I've been reffing for about 4 years now. The Harley Race Wrestling Academy is the only place I know of, like literally that I know of anywhere that offers training of referees too. So, she took to it like a duck to water. First off, she doesn't take a whole lot of guff from the boys. So she's not going to get run over in the ring. And I mean, honestly, I'll never be able to put Elaney over enough because she did a lot to help me in the first part, and she's done such a great job at it too. Like, she is definitely the person that plays the rules. She gets after them about everything they're not supposed to do, just like she's supposed to, but she does let them fight it out.
Yeah.
And, like I said, she's not afraid to get in there and mix it up with you, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Sars, did you mention Richard White? I didn't see anything from him. Is he in here?
He's probably listening.
Is he lurking around somewhere?
Now, see, he helped me a lot the way I help Elaney when I started reffing.
For those of you that don't know, Richard White was senior referee and went on to try to fulfill his dreams. He went over to Florida. We wish him all the best. Still a member of our family.
He's still thriving, I think.
He's still a member of our World League Wrestling family. You can never get away from that. That's for sure. Anyhow, let's get back. In that match, of course, the Heartthrob won.
Did he win? I
Yes.
thought Kyle won. I was rooting for Kyle. I like the new blue eyes on Kyle, so it's been a whirlwind for me. Yeah, the Heartthrob won.
I tell you, that show for me was more of a test of my
right. I don't even need
emotions, draining energy.
Yeah, I literally on the first match, I will acquiesce and
Yeah.
say I could be wrong, because it was such a whirlwind night for me
Absolutely.
back
Yeah.
there, and still the frame of mind that I'm in, I wanted to try and get out and talk to the wrestlers after their matches for a few minutes. And there wasn't a whole lot of time for that for us as commentators, but
Yeah.
you make it work. Like you said, we're all family. So you got to check up on your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll move on a little bit, and right after that was a match between a young lion and a ring veteran.
Yes.
Raheem De La Suede faced off against Brandon S.B. Espinosa. And it seems like Espinosa has fallen into a new way of thinking himself.
Right. Not so much of a whole new attitude, but he did definitely freshen up on the gear.
Mm-hmm.
He got something he likes and is a little bit more to his way of thinking and style nowadays. He also has been doing really well since he's come back to World League Wrestling and started wrestling again. Raheem De La Suede, looking good as he always does. Always eccentric. Oh, what's that word they used to use for Ric Flair when he wears...
Flamboyant?
Flamboyant, yes. Always ever flamboyant. Effervescent, as John Cena would say in Southpaw. The effervescent Raheem De La Suede.
You were just stuck on Southpaw.
I love Southpaw.
It is. It's fun. It's great.
It's
good entertainment.
I would pay to go to their show. And yes, SP did get rid of his beard.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He got that baby face back out.
Which is good. I'm fine with that. That looks good. But unfortunately, shaving the beard off and did not get him a victory over Raheem De La Suede.
Just like Michael Lilly said, Espinosa got robbed.
Did he get robbed? Or did he maybe by chance? And this is just up for discussion. Did he maybe by chance take a little for granted? Suede, maybe he didn't take him as serious as maybe he should have.
I mean, he did have his trust fund millionaire.
He should have known that was going to happen, though.
But yeah, SB's been around for a long time. He's no spring chicken.
True.
And if the guy's got a partner, and he's throwing the rules out at the start of a match, that so's his partner.
Mm-hmm.
And we said it a few times last night about it. There's definitely situations here at World League Wrestling right now where a lot of our guys are having to fight against the numbers game.
Yeah.
They're having to fight 2 and 3 people at the same time because they, once you click up back there, you try and use it to the best of your ability for your advantage. And it plays in. If you look at the Empire and how they kind of cornered the market on gold, and even the junior heavyweight titles threatened by the fact that if they choose to go after it, between the 3 of them, they're going to find a way to bring it into their fold. And Raheem De La Suede and Stefan Newton are kind of creating their own little thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just 2 people right now, but you never know. The millennial millionaire, as he likes to call himself, if he wants to start throwing money around, I'm sure he could get a few more people on his team.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as I'm concerned, when you're looking at those 2 walk into the ring together, you're looking at the future of World League Wrestling. Those 2 young men, along with a couple of others, they're the future.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting to see it happen right here, right now in front of our faces, while our mainstays like Espy are still out there giving great matches. He was just as close to winning as he was to losing throughout that match, and it's just that little bit that he couldn't overcome. I know we'll see him back in the ring, and I know he'll be victorious again. So,
well, you can't help but be. Espy's never down for very long. As he says, I'm not dead yet.
Right. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a good match. I enjoyed that very much. Also on the card last night was, now we spoke about Stefan Newton, the Millennial Millionaire, and last night he got a victory again over a ring veteran. He got a victory over Jaden Dominic Rose. And getting a victory over JDR is quite a feather in your cap.
Yes, it is.
Especially in World League Wrestling. And if you take a look at that, and we talked about this last night also, I think that's the first time that both Stefan and Raheem De La Suede have won in the same night.
Yes, it is. It could be a harbinger of things to come.
It could be a trend.
You never know.
So
the one thing I like most about these two matches where they were is that crowd was already ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of moving on to the next match and another two competitors, Raheem De La Suede and Stefan Newton walk through the curtain, turn around, and walk right back out that curtain together. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, it's kind of a harbinger. You know,
Harbinger.
These two, harbinger. These two are looking to take over this whole company together. They're looking to be the top. You know, I've heard them speak on tag team championships and the other singles titles too around both of their waists. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know that they're prepared or ready to do that at this point, but
well, Raheem lost his number one contendership for the Junior Heavyweight Championship
to JDR.
To JDR. And then last night, Stefan Newton pulls off the victory.
Right, it's just a little bit of revenge, I think.
It is. And I'm kind of like Sarge. Does that maybe put him in contention a little bit closer, or at least closer?
At least closer, yes. I mean, now the one thing is, you know, and you can't really blame the referee on this. I've had it go the other way just as much as I've caught him.
Yeah.
You know, but Stefan Newton did use that watch that he loved to talk about in his promo, almost like a pair of brass knuckles.
I saw that.
And, it's cheating, you know, but it's like I told the ref after the show. You know, I believe it was Elaney. If you didn't see it, it didn't really happen.
Hey, it's only cheating if you get caught.
Sadly, that is the truth. I also want to say something. Michael Lilly said the Empire got robbed, too. I'd like just go on record right here, right now, and say that you can say that they got robbed. But that's also after a lot of antics on their end.
I don't know that they got robbed. I would say that karma caught up with them.
That, you know what? That's probably the best way to say it right there, CT.
And we'll get to that. We're going to get to that, Michael. We'll get to that. So, congratulations, actually, to Stefan Newton, who found a way to pull that off.
Right, and he's kind of
pulling off again a win against JDR is one heck of a feather in your cap.
Well, you ain't joking.
So that's great. So you have Raheem De La Suede over Espy and Stefan Newton over JDR. So those two have gone, have pushed themselves further in any. I would say both of them have pushed themselves further or closer to that junior heavyweight championship.
Yes,
but also wins like that together pushes them closer to maybe even getting a shot at a title, at the tag titles.
And you know, I know that our junior heavyweight champion wasn't able to be there because of his job. He works for the military. He's a recruiter. But I know he knows already what happened last night.
That can't make him happy.
Right. He's got to be feeling that bullseye on his back more than ever right now with all of these other young guys coming up. You know, and they all want that title. You know, Sean, I hope you're training while you're out there at work. I hope you're keeping your stuff up because
Well, you got some contention, man. You got some people gunning
right.
for you.
And I mean, not just that, but you also kind of got JDR right there.
Okay, but
with
something else that's in the picture that you're not thinking about, or you might be thinking about, but we need to address, is that the tag team titles were lost to the Empire.
That's right.
Okay, you have now Moses, one half of that team with Colton Theron Vaught, is now your heavyweight champion. Nothing says that Colton Theron Vaught won't go for that junior championship as well.
There's
so
that.
you better make sure you keep an eye out for that.
But now, my only thing is as much as I like to bring him up because he's a great in-ring competitor, he has kind of faded into the woodwork as of late.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't.
I mean, you can't count him out if he's coming back to the ring. I mean, what he's doing away from the ring is fighting in
MMA.
right. So, I mean, he's
So
not...
the training he's getting right now in that, and if he brings that into our ring, that's going to make him very dangerous as a competitor. More dangerous than he was already.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I don't think but one person's kicked out of that moonsault he does. So,
No, you're probably right.
I don't know.
So, again, congratulations to Stefan Newton. Which brings us to the next match that happened last night, which was Derek Stone defending the World League Wrestling Heavyweight Championship against Moses the Deliverer. A fantastic match. Moses put up one heck of a fight, and Moses did exactly what we expected him to do and did not give up.
That's right, 100%.
Unfortunately, in that match, the Empire did exactly what we expected them to do. Out came Camaro Jackson. Out came John Webb with his chair, of course.
Yep.
Both of them got involved in the match, and Moses, that ended up in a disqualification, and the title did not change hands.
It's so disappointing in those moments for guys like Moses, young guys who hadn't been there, you know, and he's so close to the top of the mountain at this point. You know, and like sitting there as it happened, I was feeling it. You know, I know you were too, CT, that, you know, here it is, this kid, he's tried so hard. He's worked his way into 3 different chances at this title. Early on, Derek pulled him in that ring just to knock him around a bit, it seemed, and kind of make a joke of him.
Yeah, he tried. And
then here you go back, you know, a year later, he gets another shot at that title, and he almost wins it. You know, he almost wins. He's within a hair's breadth. The whole Empire comes down. They flub the ending. They get to disqualification. And then here we are again tonight. Second time, he was so close to defeating Derek. Boom. Gets the disqualification.
But he made one mistake in the end of that. Well, it's not really a mistake, but I think his emotions got the better of him. When that happened and the Empire got involved and it was thrown out, the disqualification happened. He was so emotionally distraught that he challenged all 3 of them in a handicap match, 3 against 1.
Right. And you have to question
That's
whether that's
just too
brave or
much,
stupid.
man.
You know,
Yeah, was that
really
brave or
do.
was it stupid?
I mean, because that is exactly what Derek Stone said. Is you can have all 3 of us. You know, you can have all 3 of us. And I'll tell you what, if you pin any one of us, you win this world title. But then he also said that seeing, you know, a year ago when they fought, one of the things that he was saying about Moses is that he was just a stupid kid. and he reiterated that when he challenged the 3 members of the Empire to a fight all by himself. And, you know, called him a stupid kid again and then said, let's do it. And, you know, for intents and purposes, Moses looked like he was ready to take on all 3 of them. But that's
I believe he would have.
Right.
But he didn't have to.
Right.
Because shortly before that could even start, out came Kyle Roberts.
Always one to stand up for what's right.
Kyle came out, and the challenge was then changed to another handicap match, which would have been the 2-on-3.
Right.
Again, I didn't like those chances, even with those two, but I mean, the chances were better. Kyle was not, but the problem was neither one of those two were fresh.
Right. They'd both already.
Camaro
wrestled.
Jackson and
And
John Webb were fresh.
Yeah, they had not wrestled.
Right. So, and neither Moses had just gotten done with his match with Derek Stone, and earlier Kyle had his match where he was unsuccessful, but he still was not fresh. This was a problem for me.
Right.
I did not like the outcome of this. I didn't like or the projected outcome of this. I didn't like how it looked.
Right. It was like, okay, he's got some help, but it's not going to be enough.
But then we got the surprise of the year.
Right. Definitely the surprise
Because
of the year.
out from the back, full geared up, and ready to roll.
New entrance music and everything.
New entrance music. I had no idea who it was or anything. Out comes the legacy, Leland Race, to join the fray.
And he had seen enough too. I work with him in training.
Well, you got to go back historically here with Leland. Leland has been gone for, could be almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay, has not been in the ring for almost a year because of one Camaro Jackson
And
the rest of the Empire.
And that
but
was the
mainly
forming.
Camaro Jackson. That was the forming of the Empire. While Derek Stone and John Webb were already working with each other as tag champs, actually. And then Camaro Jackson turns on Leland Race and has, for the last almost year, told everybody, I broke Leland's neck. Doesn't look that broken to me now.
no, it doesn't, and it looks like there's comeuppance to come. He went out there just as much to get his hands on Camaro Jackson as he did to help Moses. But you could tell that his focus wasn't the Empire. It was getting to Camaro Jackson finally after all this time. Because that was a pretty big backstab by Camaro Jackson when he jumped him and slammed him on
I don't
his
know if
head.
it's been a year, Steven, but it's been pretty darn close. It hasn't been quite a year. No. It's been a good 6 months.
Oh, easy 6 months.
6-7 months, something like that.
I would almost lean closer to a year, like November of last year or something.
It was
like
before, long before COVID. Man, I'd have to go back to look at
Right.
and see, but I can't really recall. But yeah, it's been quite a while. But anyhow, in comes the legacy. Now, for me, not only as a producer and a commentator, but for me as a fan, I gotta tell you, I marked out.
that. I was
I
pretty
had
damn
to
excited
because
too.
that was just like, boom, really? And then I got to thinking, was he really ready? Did he jump the gun in this?
It's a
Is he
concern.
really prepared to get in there with the likes of Camaro Jackson and Derek Stone? What happens if he gets in there and Camaro has another chance at that neck?
Right.
He didn't. But we did see Camaro and Leland lock up.
I believe that there's going to be a match or two in the future. And if Leland can get it to where the Empire is not running down there in a big mad mess,
Yeah.
and it's just him and Camaro Jackson, we're going to see one hell of a fight, CT.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited. I don't care if I'm calling it or if I'm calling it.
Right. If you
Either way,
whether
if I'm
you're
reffing or
wearing the
not,
black and white stripes or you're doing commentary.
it's going to be hard to hold the roof on the place
Yeah.
when those two lock up.
Yeah.
Right there, it's possibly the two strongest men, besides maybe Derek Stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just two of the titans of World League Wrestling right now getting ready to bang heads.
Mm-hmm.
and that's gonna be one hell of a fight. I'm telling you, be ready for the next time that those two face each other in the ring, because it's bigger than just the ring. It's gonna probably end up going everywhere.
I agree. And I tell you what, let's take just a short little break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the outcome of that match and how that transpired. And then we'll have plenty of time. I want to go into and talk about the future of World League Wrestling. And then, before we close out the show and move on.
Okay.
So I tell you what, folks, stick around. Just give us a minute or two, and we'll be right back with you.
Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Missouri has knowledgeable sales staff and expert service technicians dedicated to delivering the best possible customer service from any Ford dealership in the region. Subscribe to our channel for comprehensive vehicle walkarounds, test drives, and model-specific how-to videos, which will give you a glimpse into the passion we have for these vehicles and the real difference the Jim Trenary experience makes. Stay up to date on the newest technology, features, models, and news from Jim Trenary Ford, where our huge inventory means we'll have the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Our seasoned team of sales and service experts can get you in, out, and on with your day without the pressure you'll feel at the other dealerships. Subscribe to our channel and stop by to see the difference the Jim Trenary experience can make today.
And welcome back. We were talking before we went into a minute there to talk about our sponsors, which I want to talk about all the sponsors right now real quick. Let's talk about, for one, Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Trenary Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Designs.
Oh, C.T. Harrison Business Solutions. And Traveling East Productions. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the...
It's difficult.
It is interactive. I'm trying to keep up with you guys best I can.
Yeah. I'm watching your chat, but you're mostly talking to each other, so...
And that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Do your thing, man. We're here for you. So we were discussing the match that occurred at the end of the night, the special match, after... There was a disqualification in the match between Moses and Derek Stone for the heavyweight championship. We ended up with a 3-on-3. Moses, as we said, challenged the Empire to a handicap match himself against all three of them. Kyle came out to join the fray and said, no, you don't got to do this by yourself.
Right.
And then the surprise of the night came out. And the roof just flew off the place. Leland Race comes out and joins and says, oh no, this is going to be a 3-on-3.
Right.
So what happens? 3-on-3. Leland Race, Kyle Roberts, and Moses. But here's the stipulation. Here's what happened. Should someone in the Empire get pinned,
Moses
is the champion.
I mean, they kind of dug their own hole there.
They kind of dig. They got a little...
overconfident.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's hard to not be overconfident when you've been walking around running things for a year's time. I mean, nobody's been able to really stand up to them. Nobody's, I mean, with the exception of CTV and Moses dethroning them as the tag champs.
Right.
But it almost seemed like the Empire, that was a calculated move. Because they just shuffled the gold around a little bit in 2 weeks after that.
'Tis true.
So, it's like, it seems like for a long time everything has been going as the Empire has planned. And last night might have been the first big monkey wrench we've seen thrown into their plans. And it took their most prized possession. I mean,
Indeed.
That world title carries a lot of weight, and now Moses is carrying that.
Indeed. It ended up with John Webb getting pinned by Moses. And so when Moses pinned John Webb, that made him the new WLW heavyweight champion.
I mean, I just like take a moment here, folks, because, John Webb loves to have a little bit of fun at my expense. And I just like go on the record to say that now I've got to see John Webb get pinned for the world title twice. So, although I think there will be some kind of fallout from the fact that Derek Stone was not the man pinned by Moses.
Well,
I don't know how far that fallout goes.
Maybe because there actually, if you go to social media, let me find it here real quick while we since we're talking about that.
I couldn't even tell you how proud I am of Moses.
He posted, Derek Stone posted on Facebook 19 hours ago. He said, "Thank you, WLW. Moses Powell, I know your last name now. Congratulations."
Right. If you can get on his radar and get that little nugget of respect from someone like Derek Stone.
Yeah.
Because it's like we said earlier, we're all a family, and in the ring, outside the ring is a whole nother story. These men are competitors, and they're trying to win matches.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek Stone's been around for a while, and he knows what it means to hold the world heavyweight title. He knows the pressure, he knows the responsibilities, and he knows how much it can help you bring you and your stablemates, as you will, up. And he did that. Now it's like I said, I worry about the fallout from this, because he can show you that nugget of respect on social media,
Yeah.
and still come back and kick your ass and take that title.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, it's great to have his respect. But now, is he more dangerous to you because of that?
Well, yes, of course he is.
I know Derek comes a long way.
That title had a lot of value to Derek Stone for a couple of reasons. Number one, Derek Stone was the first trainer.
That's right.
At World League Wrestling. Derek Stone is has a long history with World League Wrestling. He's been with World League Wrestling and he always comes home.
That's right. That's right.
But not just that, Derek Stone, that title meant so much to Derek Stone that he has actually, for the last year or so, since he's held that title, has been driving from Denver, Colorado to World League Wrestling here in Troy, Missouri to defend that title. That's dedication.
Well,
that title meant that much to him that he could have said, "Look, guys, you know what? I can't be making this trip all the time, and I'm going to have to give up the title, and we'd have had to have a tournament or something for a new champion." But he didn't do that. It meant so much to him that he drove every time from Denver to make the shows to defend that title.
I honestly, I don't. Derek Stone is not the type of competitor to let it end like this.
No.
And I think until Moses pins Derek Stone's shoulders or makes him tap,
yeah,
I don't think he's going to accept this as a defeat. John Webb got pinned, not Derek Stone. So,
right.
Like I said, there's going to be fallout.
But what's the repercussions to John Webb now?
There could be that too. They are, Camaro Jackson.
Could this be an indication of the Empire falling apart? Could this be the one thing? Because you gotta realize too, or think about the fact of the Empire came together after Derek Stone took the title off of John Webb.
Right.
Okay, and then somehow they formed this really weird union for a little bit of these two guys going after Moses and Colton, and then somehow now they're also down there like the best of friends, and then in they bring Camaro. John Webb, I'm sure, has not forgotten that. He hasn't forgotten what happened.
No, he hasn't. He remembers.
and this is somehow this could somehow put a kink in that relationship between them now, because he no longer has to have that relationship now. If you think about it, they don't have the tag team titles. They don't have the heavyweight championship anymore. He is not tied to Derek Stone anymore. And neither is Camaro, which makes Camaro even more dangerous. And even he could come after Moses now. And can you imagine a match between Moses and Camaro Jackson for that championship?
That's going to be a hard-hitting affair, just like a Moses and Derek Stone match. Derek Stone trained Camaro Jackson. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many people seen a lot of their matches. There are a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
You can see...
Mm-hmm. You can see the training.
Right. You can see Derek Stone's training in Camaro Jackson when he's in that ring, and just how he uses his power and his strength to just smother you, basically, and pull the victory.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, but yeah, John and Camaro could easily just kind of shift off and go do their own thing now, if they wanted to. I'm pretty sure that Derek's ultimately not happy with John Webb right now.
Right, sure. But in the end, Moses the Deliverer is your new World League Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And in the end, I'm going to say that was a very successful show on many levels. One, great matches, great crowd attendance, and our very first in the history of World League Wrestling internet pay-per-view, which went off very well, I think, if I do say so myself. I
was happy all the way around.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that show. Everybody did a fantastic job. It was a great turnout. The fans, at the end of the night, the fans were elated, very happy.
Yes, they were.
So
I seen a big old long line of people wanting to take pictures with Moses.
Absolutely.
That didn't end. Usually Moses, he likes to get out there at the end of the show. He likes to help clean up. He likes to help get us out of there.
He couldn't get to it too well.
Last night, joyously, Moses was unable to help us get the place cleaned up. Last night, Moses was just too damn busy to be moving chairs and stuff like that after the show. He was taking pictures with his fans.
Oh, yes, Steve, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. Yes, Camaro Jackson does have... Camaro and John do have the tag titles, but it doesn't necessarily tie them to Derek Stone anymore, because Derek lost the gold.
Well, with the attitude
is what I meant by that. I'm sorry.
The attitude that you're dealing with is Derek doesn't have his title, so
you're dealing with three egos,
right?
All in one place,
right? Camaro and John are still champions. Derek is not, and that could be the rub at the end of this is that they don't want Derek no more.
Yeah.
Which call me crazy. I still think it's a mistake.
It is.
I've seen Derek beat both of them.
Yeah.
So
for sure. So good. Michael says him and his daughter came from Hannibal to see the show. Said they enjoyed themselves. We will be back, and we are happy to have you. And as far as I know at this point, moving further into conversation now, as far as I know at this point, that is our last show for the year. Something could happen a little later. Don't know. But at this point in time, that is our last show for the year.
Right. Our guys are always down to wrestle, but for right now, I think...
What a way to go out, though.
Right. For right now, I think this is what we got this year.
Moving on, I want to talk about, for just a moment before we get out of here, we got about 15 minutes. I want to talk about the Harley Race Wrestling Academy. The history of that place, you need to know, because I've heard this a couple of times in ramblings on the internet, okay, in social media. I've heard people say, well, Harley's no longer there. There is, I need to go look elsewhere now. Let me explain something to you. Harley may not be there physically with us, but Harley Race is still in that building, and I'm going to tell you why. The training staff at World League Wrestling Academy are 100% Harley. The training is Harley. The way it's done is Harley. The way it's taught is Harley. It is still Harley.
That's everything. Everything's done off of what Harley wanted. That's one of the things I can say from the longest tenured person in World League Wrestling to the guy who just started training yesterday.
Uh-huh.
We're all trained the way Harley wanted us trained. They've kept that. That's not going anywhere.
Right.
This is how it's done. You know, Harley Race he forgot more about wrestling than all of us sitting here talking and
No. Yeah.
you know,
That's a fact.
than we may ever learn. I mean, and then you got Leland there, who has literally sat under that learning tree his whole life.
That's Harley.
Right.
Leland is Harley in a lot of ways.
And there, you know, when I first started training, Harley was outside the ring and handing instructions up, and Leland was doing the training.
Yep.
And Leland was already doing what Harley wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and I've
He
never
pretty
seen
much left
that change.
Leland alone.
Right. I've seen JDR come up there and train.
Yes.
JDR trains you the way Harley wants you trained,
Yes.
not the way JDR trains. The way
SB comes
Harley
up there and
wants you to
helps
train.
out.
That's right. And he
John Webb has come up there and helped out.
And I'll tell you what, for all of his stuff in the ring, when he gets in there to train them young guys, he wants a tough fight, I guess, when they debut, because they all get up in there. They don't hold nothing back with these young guys. They teach them everything they need to know. You're going to seldomly see somebody, if at all, come out of training at the Harley Race Wrestling Academy that's not ready for what they're getting ready to get themselves into. And in a lot of cases, they've already been there in training.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big things. You know, we have our matches at training, and these young guys they decide whether they're ready to get up there in front of the cameras and perform for you, or not by what they show from what they've learned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so far, I mean, you look at that list. You look at Moses. You look at Raheem. You look at Sean. You look at Colton. You look at Stefan Newton. I mean, it's just the list continues. We got a bunch of young guys in there right now.
We got guys coming up.
Right.
That are training now that are going to be. We don't have enough room on the roster for the talent that's coming up.
I mean, unless people want 4-hour shows.
No, I'm okay. 2 hours is enough. Well, we do what ends up being an hour and a half.
About that, yeah.
I mean, we could do 2 hours, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how happy Leland would be, but, you know, is what it is.
It's a lot of work.
You will do what the
backstage.
fans tell you to do, sir. I say that because he's not right in front of me.
Right, 'cause-
and I don't have to deal with the consequences until possibly the next time I see him. So
Right.
I'm sure I'll hear about this. That's
Anybody who's ever tried to make Leland do something knows exactly
No.
what we're talking about
No,
here.
not even his wife. Well, she probably has the best chance of anybody to make him do anything. So, what's in store for World League Wrestling in the future? I want to talk about for just a second the momentum that World League Wrestling was on before COVID. We were doing a couple of shows a month at that time on the road. We were traveling to Richmond. We were traveling to several places.
Right, like this guy said, they drove from Hannibal
Yeah.
to get here. We could have came to them.
Yeah,
if it would've
absolutely.
been open.
And it was definitely a possibility. We were scheduled. We were actually scheduled for a military base. We were scheduled for there was a few things. We had a big show planned for in the city. Actually, Leland and I were working on a big show for the Shriners to do a benefit for the Shriners Hospital in St. Louis, and that got shut down because. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what happened. The Monday, okay, COVID happened. The Monday after COVID was the day that we were supposed to go and meet and finalize the deal with the Shriners for that and see the facility and make sure everything was, I mean, that was the finality of it right there. We were ready to
Right.
lock it in right then and there. COVID hit and we weren't able to even make that meeting.
Well, I mean, not just that, but we were getting ready to start a tour of military bases and give our enlisted men some entertainment right there at home in their
Yeah, man.
base.
Yeah, man.
And that kind of got ixnayed.
Right.
Because everybody had to kind of shut down.
We the momentum we were on was so good that not only were our shows getting booked, we were ready to rock and roll. We also ended up on, now when we started this TV thing, it was actually on the internet. Mm-hmm. And we did some Facebook stuff and YouTube stuff. Next thing you know, we got on TV in Columbia. We got on TV in Columbia in 2 stations. We got on TV in St. Joe. And then all of a sudden, World League Wrestling is on 4 television stations in 3 markets. We are in Columbia, Missouri. We're in St. Joe, Missouri. And this one got me big time. We ended up on a TV station in Houston, Texas. World League Wrestling has left Missouri and gone to TV in Houston, Texas. And that was just, this is the momentum that World League Wrestling was on before COVID hit. During COVID hit and we couldn't do our shows anymore.
Right.
So in order to stay in tune with you guys, we created, actually that's exactly what Amplify was created for. Amplify was created to stay in touch with you, the fans, during COVID.
Right, just to engage with you guys and talk wrestling.
Yep.
I mean,
and since that happened and we were able to get back to doing shows again, Michael says, my daughter is a Shriners kid and wants to be in wrestling. I know a great place for her to train, Michael.
right, we will always.
So we get back to doing shows and we stopped doing Amplify, and Amplify became this show, which happens after each event that we have. Marty and I will be here on the Sunday after the shows to discuss the show we had. And some of our wrestlers, some of the guys on our roster, guys and gals, are staying at home.
Right.
Others are braving it out and coming to do the shows, and others are training like crazy.
Like crazy.
Matter of fact, I can't believe the training schedule. It's great. There's like 3. Did you say no? There's 4 groups.
4 groups.
There's
training.
4 groups of training right now, but I can see in the future should you guys stay safe and take care of each other and be healthy, and we can get on top of this COVID thing, there is no reason in the world that World League Wrestling does not get back to where it was before it hit. And I see World League Wrestling, in my opinion, World League Wrestling is the top of Missouri wrestling. And maybe I'm just being...
You know what?
I'm just being biased. I know.
Right. Sue me if I am. I don't care.
It's it's okay. It's my opinion. And it's not World League Wrestling's opinion. This is me. This is me
Right.
saying it. I just so enthralled and so into World League Wrestling that I do everything I possibly can and have volunteered to do all of this stuff, and it's great. But I see World League Wrestling on more TV. I see us getting more TV in other areas. I would like to see St. Louis and Kansas City myself right now.
Yes. Is ultimately that's what we are. We're about Missouri. You know, we're most of us are Missouri guys. You know, most of us are Harley guys, and Harley was about Missouri too.
Yeah.
So, you know, it means a lot to us here in Missouri.
Harley is Missouri wrestling.
You ain't shitting. I'm sorry. You know.
Can't say that on this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I apologize. You know, drum me out of town if you have to, but I feel that with my heart. I mean, I went up there. I started training. Harley was a legend. Mm-hmm. You know, he means the world and all to me, still to this day. And I know I'm not alone in this.
No.
None of us at World League Wrestling are willing to let Harley down.
No.
Under any circumstances. And when we feel like we've let him down, you guys will know it. I mean, you'll see it in our actions. It really, you know, if I miss something in a match like last night with Stefan Newton and the little punch with the watch in his hand, you know, when something like that happens and I go back and I watch it, I feel like I let Harley down. And I know that these young men that are wrestling feel the same way when they don't accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that. I mean, losses mean a lot. Wins mean even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah,
But
Harley.
it's not the end of the world.
Harley is the be-all, end-all of what we do.
Yeah. Everything centers around that. He lives in that building, and you could tell it from the crowd. You could tell it from the guys in the ring. You could tell it from the guys in the back. You could tell it from the staff. That's just, it is what it is. So, that being said, any last minute thoughts real quick before we get out of here? Anything you want to?
Yeah. If you think that this COVID thing has stopped us or slowed us down, we just pump the brakes. Okay?
Yeah.
We pump the brakes to make sure our fans and our family are safe. And we're making sure that we stay as safe as we possibly can while bringing you entertainment. And as soon as the road opens up,
Oh, it's game on, baby.
as soon as the road opens up, it's
going to be like I don't know if any of you are rodeo fans or watch the rodeo, but you've seen this. When the bull comes right out of the gate, as soon as that gate opens and that bull just leaps and just goes out there and just starts, that's us.
You know,
when
it's-
COVID hit, when it's done, you watch. World League Wrestling is going to be that bull coming right out of the pen. Boom, baby. It's on. It's game on. Done.
as I always call it, is 270. If I'm driving somewhere and it's hot outside, I don't use air conditioning. It's 270. 2 windows down, 70 miles an hour. We're going down the road as fast as we can.
It's ready to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We, you know, this isn't even a hump to get over. We were prepared to keep moving as it started, and we're still prepared to keep moving. And as soon as we can start putting shows out there all across this great state of Missouri, we're going to start putting matches across this state again, and hopefully into some new places like CT said.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It's going to be great. It's a brand new future for World League Wrestling. We have not. Well, World League Wrestling did exactly what Harley would have done. It may have knocked us down, but we got right up.
Right.
We didn't let it stop us. We didn't end with that. We kept going and fighting and moving forward. And I think and I hope that Harley is looking down going, my company's in good hands. Rock on, boys, you know?
That's right. These
And
guys
so,
won't.
I'm
These
good with
guys
it.
ain't gonna tap.
So no, ain't no tap out in us. I told our owner, I told our committee in our office, I said, you know what? When asked, I said, no, I will be here until the building burns down, and I'm not going anywhere. And I know I see that same attitude in everybody in that building.
I mean,
working
honestly,
there.
with all of us and
Yeah.
the way we are, they might have to pull us out of the burning building to get us to leave that building alone. Over our dead body
Yeah.
is when World League's not bringing you
Yeah.
quality pro wrestling.
You'll have to pry it from our cold dead hands.
Right, 100%, man.
So-
We're not giving it up, and we don't even feel partially defeated.
Not even close.
So, don't go thinking it's the end of the match. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the bell just rung.
Yeah. This ain't over. We just had to get out of the ring for a second and, take a little bit of the count and catch our breath and jump right back in.
Exactly.
And then we didn't even take 9 to get in. It took us maybe 4.
Yeah,
We were
kick
back
out at
in.
1,
Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, it was a kick out at 1. We're good. So, that being said, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm CT Harrison.
I'm Martin
He is-
Kattich.
Yes, he is. And it's been a joy and a pleasure. It was a great night last night. Had a great time. It's been good to be here with you today. Thanks a lot for joining us. Stay tuned. Watch the World League Wrestling Facebook page. Go to World League Wrestling YouTube channel. Like it. I believe next Thursday, you and I will be calling it live.
Yeah, live showdown.
We'll be calling commentary live with you on WLW Showdown Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time on the World League Wrestling Facebook page and the World League Wrestling YouTube channel. And that also will be interactive. We'll be with you guys for that. So, yeah. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, it's,
It was a good day.
shut up and wrestle, people.
Shut up. Oh. I'm glad you said that. Do not, at the end of that show, do not tune off, because after the show, Marty and I will continue, and we will do, we're going to go on after that for an after show from Showdown called Shut Up and Talk Wrestling. And it's going to be Marty and I discussing the Thursday Night Showdown for a few minutes.
Watching my mouth a little better.
Yeah. It won't be like an hour show or nothing. It's just going to be just a little bit, just for us to talk with you and discuss what you thought about it, the match or matches that you saw on that show. And yeah, there you have it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. Let's get out of here, Marty. I got to go get some coffee and something to eat.
I hear you.
Yeah. So, anyhow, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm CT Harrison. He's Martin Kattich. And this has been World League Wrestling Amplify. And we'll see you next time.